Hi there, it's Heather Steves here, and today I want to share with you a fun little 6x8 layout that I did recently. I started by creating this sketch, and it's based off of this one-page layout from the Love of Color book, and I'm using some of my Candid Moments workshop kit, but I'm actually starting with this Sundance paper from the current Mix-in pack. Now I'm just confirming the dimensions for this Sundance paper so that I can go ahead and get it cut and ready to go. So I hadn't done a lot of pre-planning for this layout, so I wasn't sure about all of the papers I was going to use. So I'm trying the white, and I really don't like it with the white daisy, but then when I put the black there, it works much better. Of course, it is a Halloween layout, so black and orange look good together, but there is a lot of black, of course, in my kids' costumes, so I think that really helps. But I still wanted to add a little bit of white, and so I decided to actually mat my photos on the white, and these little photo placeholders are great for that. So you just take your photo and you trim off like maybe 1/8 of an inch, and then it gives you that nice thin border around. So I'm going ahead and I am doing that with all 3 of my photos. So now that I have the main components of my layout cut out and ready, I'm just going to do a little dry fit here and place them on there without any adhesive, and then I can start to figure out what else I'm going to put on my layout. So I pulled out my Candid Moment stickers. I thought that this today might work, but I didn't like because it was more of a tone on tone, so I thought it was better to try for something else. So that led me to pulling out a bunch of my Halloween stamps and checking out to see which ones might work. I really like that Boo one, but it just really wasn't the right size for this layout, so the Halloween works better. I grabbed a bunch of embellishments from my stash as well, and I'm just kind of going through them and looking to see if I have anything there. But I don't find an awful lot in that until I find these Scaredy Cat embellishments, and this is a little metal embellishment, and so I think that it's going to work really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this Halloween title, and so I'm just seasoning it. That's what you see me doing there, making sure that it's ready to accept the ink. And I'm pulling out just a scrap piece of white daisy cardstock, and I'm not too sure what color I want to use. So I pulled out a few of my oranges, and I'm just looking to see what matches. I really like that little hoot button, so I might add that in, and I want to match that if I can. So I end up settling on the nectarine. Then I'm going to go ahead and stamp that and just clean that off with my stamp chamois, and then I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine to cut it out. So things were looking a little bit plain, so I wanted to actually double matte that one photo there. And so I pulled out some nectarine cardstock, and I'm just going to matte that up, and then that really gives it a little bit of a pop. The larger mat looks nice, but I just thought it was maybe a little bit too big, so I ended up deciding to trim it down a bit and just making it a little bit less of the nectarine showing. And actually I'm much happier with it after I do that. It gives me a little bit more space around the entire photo. So now I'm just using the grid lines on my mat to make sure that I get this piece centered nicely on my page. And now I can start to figure out a little bit more of the detail. So I'm attaching some things down, but not necessarily everything just yet. I've got some foam tape. These are the leftovers from the Star Shaker foams, and I'm adding that. And then my little metal embellishment there, I want to make sure that the word spooky stands out. So you saw I put it on some black, which didn't make it stand out very well, so I grabbed a little piece of white and I'm just adding that on the back. I ended up removing the glue dots that were on the back of it. They're super strong, but they were just kind of getting in the way of what I was trying to do, and I wanted to put some foam tape on it anyway, so I knew that they wouldn't really be needed. So here I'm just adding my Sundance piece onto the left side as well. I'm using the right side as my guide just to make sure it's as even as possible across the 2 pages. And I'm just trying to figure out what else to add to this layout. So the workshop kit from Candid Moments comes with all these little punch outs. I'm really liking this little blue tab. Even though there's really not a lot of blue in the layout, it feels like it works really nice. It balances things out. So I'm just trimming off the little tabs that sometimes come with these punch outs, and I'm going to probably put that on there. So I'm just kind of, again, I'm dry fitting it, putting things down, and I'm going to play around with all of these circles. These circles are really cute. There's lots of variety in them, and I've already used some on some of my other layouts, and so I just cut them in half or trimmed off the pieces I need. And then there's these little starbursts in different shapes. So just going to play around with those and see what looks good. Now I'm going to kind of play around with my left side here, and I pulled out this blue circle because then it adds blue to that side of the layout and helps to tie everything together. And I really want to incorporate this little hoot button. It's so cute, but I got to figure out what else I'm going to put there to try and make it work. But then I have these other little matching embellishments with the spooky, and this little pumpkin is super cute, and actually I end up deciding that that's what I'm going to use there. But I'm still kind of playing around with some of the little pieces, trying to figure out what's going to work best. So I finally decided what I'm going to put where, and I'm ready to commit to it now. So I'm just trimming off this little circle, and I'm going to attach it there. I love how it hangs over the edge of the Sundance paper and kind of breaks up that solid line. And then I'm doing the same thing with this blue one on the left side, and again it's going to hang over top of that, and it just creates some visual interest to your page and breaks up those solid lines. So I remembered that I needed to still attach this blue banner, so I'm just tucking it back under that photo mat and I'm attaching it. The spooky gets a little bit of foam tape, the Halloween already has the foam tape on it, and then I had this little stamp that I pulled out of one of the sets that just says October 31st. So I'm going to grab my black ink and stamp that on there, and it adds just a little bit of pop and kind of finishes off that title. Now that everything was assembled, I felt like it was still missing something. So I actually grabbed my white gel pen and I'm going to use it to add some faux stitching around the page. Now, it's not the best quality gel pen, I guess. It is not the Close to My Heart one. I haven't tried that one yet. So you can see that I'm kind of going back and forth. I don't know if that's typical with most gel pens, but they do sometimes not always have the best coverage. So I'm just taking my time and I'm just freehand adding these faux stitching lines. And I think that it was the perfect touch just to finish everything off. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful day.